Welcome to the FunkMMA Strength and Conditioning Podcast, hosted by Funk Roberts, former professional athlete, certified MMA conditioning coach, and master of metabolic training. Funk is one of the leading conditioning coaches in the martial arts industry today and has a following of over 500,000 combat athletes around the world. His workouts and training principles have been used by many professional fighters, including fighters in the UFC, Bellator, and ONE FC, as well as World Muay Thai champions, Glory kickboxers, and ADCC BJJ champions. Join me in welcoming your host, Funk Roberts.
We are live, Funk Stars. Welcome to the very first Funk MMA Strength and Conditioning Podcast with your host, Funk Roberts, aka the Funkster. That's right, the tribe leader. And man, I'm excited because this is the very first episode of my brand new podcast dedicated to strength and conditioning for fighters, for athletes, and for people who want to train like fighters, you know, and everything that surrounds strength and conditioning. So, you know, we're going to talk, obviously, workouts. We're going to talk training, but we're going to talk nutrition, supplementation. We're going to talk a bit of business. We're going to talk prehab, rehab. We're going to talk mindset, mental fortitude. We're going to talk life in general and how to be a freaking beast. That's what we're doing on this show, man. And I'm really excited about it. I'm super excited because I've been wanting to do this for a long time, for quite a long time, actually. And I just decided, you know what? Instead of trying to wait for the best time to do this, just do it. Just start it, and then, you know, it'll evolve as you evolve. So, you know, you and I are starting this journey together. And, you know, I've already started a strength and conditioning journey online through my funkmma.com, through my Facebook page, my Instagram, the hundreds of workouts and programs that I've put together, the people who I've trained. And now it's time to bring the podcast. Now it's time not only to spread my knowledge with you through different topics that we'll talk about on this podcast, but also to bring guests. And that's what excites me, man, because not only are you going to learn, but I'm going to learn too. We're going to bring fighters, UFC fighters. We're going to bring professional fighters in different martial arts. We're going to bring coaches. We're going to bring trainers. I'm going to open the doors to all these trainers that are around the world that you guys may not have access to or know about, that have some incredible strength and conditioning and training philosophies and are training top level athletes that we may not even know about, you know? And this is what this is about. There's a lot of podcasts out there, and there may be other strength and conditioning podcasts for fighters, but you know, this is what I'm bringing. You know, my goal when I started Funk MMA back in 2011, I guess I'm going to say 2011, was to create a tribe of the best conditioned fighters in the world. You know, a million fighters in different combat sports to be the best conditioned. That's my mission. That's been my mission from the very beginning. And the way I did that was posting workouts on YouTube and online and putting together programs and just spreading my knowledge and, you know, I don't want to say expertise because I'm not an expert, but, you know, I'm a certified MMA conditioning coach. I've done tons of research and obviously tried, tested and true, because I walk the walk and talk the talk. I fought in Thailand. I've trained fighters, UFC fighters, former UFC fighters, different fighters in different martial arts, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. So I bring a wealth of knowledge, but I'm not only, you know, I'm not looking to be the big UFC trainer who trains this massive UFC guy. And, you know, I'm looking to be the everyday strength and conditioning coach, your strength and conditioning coach. You're the guy you can go to and know that, all right, I'm doing a Funk Roberts workout. I know this is going to get me into shape. You know, I'm following Funk Roberts nutrition plan. I know this is going to help me to burn fat, stay lean, you know, keep inflammation down. Oh, I'm using a Funk Roberts warm up. Oh, amazing. You know, like, you know that you don't have to invest all that money looking for a high level strength and conditioning coach, which obviously are amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take anyone's job, but not everyone has access to these big gyms with amazing trainers that they can, go to and help them train for their fights or just train in general. Like you may just have a passion for your martial arts. So, that's what I want to be. I'm kind of, I'm starting to talk like this because I want to let you know where my mindset's at. Like what my mission is to create the best, most conditioned athletes, the healthiest athletes, the above average person in your life, like not just, in your training, but in your life. Like you're going to take everything that, you learn and everything that I can show you and you're going to apply it not only to what you do in training or in the gym, but also in your everyday life that'll help you be a better human being. Martial arts teaches us a lot, teaches us commitment and, teaches us to how to get through and be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, teaches us discipline and, respect. And I think those type of attributes that you can take from martial arts and apply it to your life will help you in everything you do, help you be a better person, help you be more confident, help you be healthier. And so this podcast is going to be about spreading the strength and conditioning love, not just through me, but through as many people as I can get on this show. Because the more you can learn, you take what's useful and you discard what's not. It's a little Bruce Lee. No, you didn't say that exactly, obviously, but we're gonna have fun too, man. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be edutainment from my boy KRS-One. Edutainment, yeah. For you guys who know the '90s hip hop, we're gonna have fun, man. Like I'm here to have fun. I'm not just trying to preach, although I will preach a lot, but I'm also here to have fun. I'm here to learn too. I'm gonna learn from the people that we have on the show. We're gonna learn together, and I hope you tune in week in and week out, because every week I'll be bringing either me talking about a specific topic that you guys may want me to talk about, spreading my knowledge, or like I said, I have access to trainers and coaches and fighters and all different types of sports. So I'm really excited to bring those people to you so we can talk strength and conditioning and just talk about their lives too and just everything, But this is definitely geared towards strength and conditioning. It's geared towards all aspects of training and strength and conditioning. So in every podcast, we'll probably at some point we'll talk about strength and conditioning. I just want to set that straight. So, but I think it's great because again, whether you just train for the sake of the passion that you have for your martial arts, perfect. I love that. That's 99% of the people in the world who just love their martial arts and train and understand that in order for me to get better, I'm going to have to improve my conditioning, my strength and conditioning. Or whether you're a person who has aspirations of being a top level combat athlete in whatever martial arts you're doing, whatever sport you're doing, or if you are just someone who likes to train like a fighter, likes that style of training where you're training to be athletic, you're training to be, move better and be more athletic and powerful and explosive, or if you're just, someone who just wants to learn, you're a coach or a trainer or a gym owner that wants to learn more about strength and conditioning and how you can apply that to your classes and your athletes. This is what it's all about. I'm going to bring all aspects and facets of strength and conditioning. I'm going to bring, fighters. Again, like I said, I'm going to have gym owners and people in the business. And, I've got a good lineup of people already sorted out for you. So I hope that you're excited. I want you to be excited for this because I don't know, again, if there's anything like this out there. I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I'm just going to be me. So, and this is the first podcast. So the next few are probably going to be a little rough because, I'm now learning this whole podcast world. I've done podcasts before and interviews before, and I've been on podcasts before, but I've never really I've got all this equipment here now. I'm setting all this stuff up, and I'm again one of the themes that you're gonna learn. I hope that like from the get-go, this is a theme that you kind of like every time we get off the podcast, you can take it with you into your life is you got to be uncomfortable. You got to be comfortable with being in uncomfortable situations. You got to be comfortable with, getting yourself out there and trying new things and being vulnerable, because that's where the learning is. That's where you're going to learn. You got to be comfortable with failure and knowing that you are going to fail, but it's part of the process. It's part of the journey, because like I said, like this is all new to me. So there's going to be, I'm sure the first 4 or 5 are going to be, brutal. But if you stay with me, it's going to get better. You know what I mean? Like everything over. Like Robin Black, who hopefully I'm going to get on this show. He started his own podcast, and I'm talking about him because he talked about being a white belt. And I actually have used that in the past, where like whenever I do something in my business, I'm always start off as a white belt. So I'm always like, learning, and it's frustrating. It gets frustrating. And that's just the same with anything in life. When you're learning things, it's frustrating. It's not smooth. It's not what you're used to. It's uncomfortable. You're not comfortable failing or having to do something like 20 times before it works. Like when I was setting this up, it took me like 30 times to figure out the freaking microphone levels. But that's because I've never really done this before. So I'm cool with that, man. The other thing you're going to learn about me is I'm very transparent. I'm not trying to, like you guys see me on YouTube. You see me on Facebook. You see me do the workouts. You see me struggling in some workouts. That's me, man. I'll post me hitting pads. I'm not pretty. I'm not a pretty, Muay Thai pad puncher or hitter, or, my striking isn't beautiful, but I don't care, because I want you guys to know that you just keep pushing forward. You don't be afraid to show yourself. I'm not trying to be someone I'm not. What you see is what you get with me, and I'm not afraid to fail 100%. I failed millions of times, but it's allowed me to get to where I am today. It's allowed me to have a 7-figure business. It's allowed me to be able to travel to Thailand 2-3 times, a year. It allows me to, fight Muay Thai when I was 40. It's allowed me to, be able to bring my passion, which is strength and conditioning for athletes and fighters, to you. That's what it's allowed me to do, because I've tried to do everything I can to get my passion out to you, so that I know that I'm building, the best athletes. So I want to start this off by again letting you know what you can expect. So get excited, because we're gonna have like cool guests. I've got lots of guests lined up already. And then I also wanted to take this opportunity to let you know how I got here. Like, how did FunkMMA become FunkMMA? Because you're listening to this podcast right now and you're like, all right, cool. I'm excited. I've got, Funk's going to tell us all this stuff, but really, who is Funk? And I'm not going to dive too deep, because I don't want this to be an hour long, because I could go an hour long, but I want you to kind of know a little bit about how I got here, like how we got from kind of like, who I was to here. And that way, my background, and you can be like, okay, yeah, and then as we continue to do these podcasts, you'll learn more and more about me. And hopefully a lot of you can relate to some of the, struggles that I've had in my life, or, some of the triumphs and, some of the things that go on in my life on a daily basis that maybe you can take inspiration from, or motivation from, or just like take and learn from. And I'm going to learn from you guys too, because you can ask questions, and I'm going to have to research things for you guys so that we can talk about it. But let's talk about how we got here, man. So my name is Funk Roberts. I am 48 years old, June 2nd, 2017. 48 years old, man. It's crazy. I've lived a crazy life. I'm telling you, I used to be a professional athlete, professional beach volleyball player. And you're probably saying, what? Beach volleyball? Like, there's a professional sport? Yeah, it used to be. It's a professional sport. It's a very amazing professional sport. And in the 80s and 90s, I played on the highest level. I played, in Canada. I played in the U.S. I played all over the world. I represented Canada. I was ranked, 3rd in Canada at some point. So, that's really what I did. I still worked, but, I played a professional sport. So even from the time I was 14 to the time I was 30, I always played at the highest level of volleyball. So whether it was indoor or beach volleyball, I always played at the highest level. So I've always been an elite athlete throughout my life. Like from, I guess, again, from time I was 14, 14 I was playing at a high level, and then all the way through the highest levels you can, I always achieved those highest levels. So that was instilled in me. So I did a lot of research and how, I'm only 5'10", so playing beach volleyball or indoor volleyball against guys who are like 6'11", who can jump high. I've had to learn how to jump high. I had to learn how to be explosive and powerful. So a lot of plyometrics was key for me, and I included that a lot into my training. I'm from Toronto, Canada, so that's where I'm at right now. I still am here in the T-Dot. I've got 2 kids, both older now in their 20s. And I got a beautiful wife. If you guys follow me, you know Angela. Ange Siam on Instagram. You know Ange Wads, those workouts that she puts up. And you know that she's, we've been married for 5 years. You probably don't know that, but we have been married for 5 years. And, 5 years plus. And it's been the best 5 years of my life, no doubt. She also is a fighter and has fought in Thailand 3 or 4 times, I believe. Has won every fight. She's a beast. I'm telling you, man, she's incredible. So she may even co-host, because that's the other thing we're going to have. We're going to have co-hosts on this show too. So Angela, her and I talk a lot about fighting. We, whenever we watch UFC or whenever we, we're watching sports fighting, at least we go to, Muay Thai events. We're always talking about fighting and the person's mindsets, like the fighter's mindset and their conditioning. And, we're always breaking things down, we always, like, even after UFC events, we always break down the fighters in the UFC event. So we're going to try something like that too. That's part of this podcast, to have like a post-fight breakdown, because again, we always talk about like, oh, this guy gassed out because you could tell from the very get-go he wasn't, there, or this person had incredible conditioning, and you can tell the different aspects of their conditioning that they've worked on, like their core training, or they're more explosive, or whatever it is. We can dissect that, and it kind of gives you guys an idea of, oh, okay, I'm looking at this a little bit differently now. This fight's not just about the fight, but I can see other aspects of the fighter and how the fighter has prepared for this fight. So I think that's cool too. I don't know. I mean, you guys will tell us. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Anyway, so but Angela's going to co-host, and then we've got Andy T. If you guys don't know Andy T, he is the moderator and admin on FunkMMA on Facebook, and which currently is almost at, probably by the time I get off this podcast, we're probably at 400,000 strong. We're looking for 1 million. So by the end of this year, we want to hit 1 million strong. 1 million strong strength and conditioning athletes, man. That's incredible. I love it. That's like my goal. I really want to touch people from all over the world. And you being part of it. So go to Facebook /FunkMMA and like that page, because we're always posting awesome stuff, not just from me, but from all over the universe in the fight game. Anyway, so Andy T, he's a fighter. He's young. So I like to have Andy's feedback too, because Andy's young. He's 23. He's a MMA fighter, but he's done so much in his life as well. We're also a partner in a different business that we run as well together. So it's cool to get his perspective, right? He's an amateur. He's been to Muay Thai. He's been to Thailand. So it's going to be cool to have him as a co-host and get his perspective on things as well. Anyway, so this started back really. So anyways, after I finished, after I retired when I was 30, actually I retired, I had the 9-to-5 jobs, and I had a few of those jobs, and, they were all fine and dandy, but I started blogging. I started putting fitness workouts out, and that was kind of like my thing. And, one of my workouts went viral, and it was like a Spartan workout, and it went viral, and it allowed me to grow a following of people who really enjoyed my workouts. So I started posting a lot of workouts. But at that time too, I was, this is in my 30s. I was still kind of, doing the bodybuilding style workouts. So let me back up. From 30 to 38, I was doing bodybuilding style workouts. 30 to 39, maybe 38, 39. I was still doing bodybuilding style workouts. and I started to get really, I was puffy, you know, playing beach volleyball. I was a little leaner, but I always had a belly because I drank a lot of beer after tournaments. And then when I was so by the time I got to 38, I was big and puffy. I was like 215 pounds. Usually I was like 185, 180 pounds. I was 215 pounds of puffy muscle. Like I was big and puffy. So I didn't have any cut. I was just big and puffy, and I hated that look, man. I hated being puffy. I hated being big. I always wanted to be like lean and ripped. Like I always wanted to be able to, like, in 7 days, if a magazine called me and said, hey, I want you on the cover of this magazine, I'd always want to be in that shape, right? To be able to, like, okay, in 7 days I can get ready for a magazine shoot, which is what I'm doing right now, by the way. Anyways, so that was kind of like the turning point when the guy who I was training with looked at me and he was like, hey, Funk, you know, doesn't it suck that you come here every week, every day, 6 days a week, you train like an hour and a half every day, and you still look the same. And you've been doing it for 2 years, and you still look the same. How frustrating is that? And that blew me away. You know, of course, I was defensive at first. I'm like, nah, man, I got some cuts. You know, I've been working hard. I'm just in maintenance mode, which is the worst thing you can say. I'm in maintenance mode. That's brutal. No such thing as maintenance mode, people. You always have to be striving to be better. There's always something you can do to be better. There's always something you can be healthier. There's always something you can do to stay injury free. So, you know, there's always something new you can try. So it's not about, there's no maintenance. People who say they're in maintenance mode are sick of what they look like, are fed up with what they look like, and are frustrated. That's what I think. That's what I think. I think that they're like, oh yeah, I'm just in maintenance mode. That's kind of like the automatic response. And that was my automatic response, 100%. And then when I went home, I took off my shirt. I'm like, fuck, he's so right, man. Like, look at me. Like, this is not what I want to look like. Nothing wrong. Well, I do think there's a lot wrong with being puffy because you're inflamed. A lot of inflammation, you're holding a lot of water, and it's not good for the joints. So, you know, I decided that after that night that I looked in the mirror, I decided, okay, I got to change my workouts. And then the next few days, someone introduced me to kettlebells, and I started, you know, training more high intensity training with these kettlebells. And then I became certified as a kettlebell trainer. And then, you know, if you go to my YouTube channel, my early YouTube channels, you can see I was still posting bodybuilding style workouts. And then all of a sudden it like changed to like high intensity metabolic circuits. And that's kind of like where you know, that's what I was researching. You know, high intensity circuits are great to help you burn fat, build muscle. So I totally changed my training. Body weight, dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells, sandbags, doing high intensity circuits, changed my nutrition, changed my workouts to be a lot shorter and high intensity, and totally transformed my body from 215 pounds of puffy muscle to 185 pounds ripped. And that was in 6 months. And that was crazy, but I really focused on that. You know, I was only going 5 days a week. I was, you know, but they were high intensity and my nutrition was on point. I wasn't eating crap, and it really changed my life. And I just said, okay, this is it. This works. And I'm going to start spreading the knowledge and start educating myself. And at the same time, there was an MMA gym that opened up because the UFC started to get really big. And so the MMA gym opened up, or actually it was a Muay Thai. Well, it was an MMA gym. MMA club, Eric Miller. Shout out to you if you're listening to this. Anyway, so it was a gym that opened up close by to me. And when I was younger, like when I was 20 years old, I started Muay Thai because there's a guy who opened up a gym right down the block from where I was working. I was working at a beach volleyball shop or beach shop, and right 3 like doors down, he opened up this Muay Thai dojo. I call it a dojo because it's right in a storefront. You just like, there was like curtains, and you walk in, and it's like, it seemed like it was a dojo, and he was touting it as like, oh, this is a great. This is going to be great for like if you get into street fights because you can throw knees and elbows and it's 8 limbs. And at that time I was a big fighter. Like if any of my friends who knew me from back then who are listening, you know that I used to stir shit up, man. I used to fight a lot at bars and clubs and, you know, parties. And like, I was just always looking for a fight at people on the street. I wouldn't entice a fight, but if anybody said anything that was negative towards me, I would get in a fight. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's a fight breaking out. So to me, I was like, oh, Muay Thai with elbows and knees. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I'm excited. I'm going to do this. And, but what I learned was, as I started to, he was very smart, because he just used that as a tool to get people in. It's like, how am I going to get these young cats in? Oh, let me tell you how you can use elbows and knees, and it's going to be great for street fighting, but then, and self-defense. But then when you get in there, it's like, you're not using this on the street. You're actually going to train, and you start to love the sport. You start to love the beauty of the sport. You start to, become more respectful. You're learning Thai culture, and it was an incredible feeling. But the only thing was, when I was that young, I didn't, and it gave me a lot of confidence too, because now that I was really walking the streets, I didn't even get into fights after that, because it was like, this is a waste of time. I'm gonna murder these guys now. Before it was like, okay, this is going to be a good fight. I'm ready to go. Like at one of these bars, I took on like 10 guys. I did turtle during that fight, but if anyone's listening to this at O'Toole's, thank you, Fred Bartley, for getting me out of that fight with those bikers. Anyways, so the confidence was great, and basically, because I was playing beach volleyball, I couldn't continue with Muay Thai. So fast forward to when I'm 39 now, Muay Thai gym opens up, and plus there's another Muay Thai gym by my work. At that time when I was 39, so I started to go there, and it was amazing. It totally changed my life, because I was getting into even better shape now. I was already in great shape, but now I'm getting Muay Thai shape, and I decided to go to Thailand. And now this is where the story turns into how Funk MMA begins, because I get to Thailand. I'm one of those people who, like, okay, I'm learning Muay Thai. Now I got to go learn from the best. And where am I going to learn from the best? Thailand. I've never been to Thailand before, and it intrigued me. It was beautiful, but it intrigued me. It was a different language. I was going to, be in an uncomfortable position. I went by myself. But the one thing but when I decided 6 months prior that I was going to go, I was so obsessed with it. And that's what happens when you have, if you put something out there and say, okay, I'm doing this, then you almost have to obsess over it. You always have to just stay laser focused. And that's what I did, because at that time I was going to Phuket, and I was going to Tiger Muay Thai. And that was really the only place on the street that I went to was Tiger Muay Thai back, when I think it was 40 when I went, or 39 when I went. So 2009, I believe it was. And, it was amazing. Like, so every day I would put away money into my account, and every single day I went to the tigermuaythai.com, and just looked at the website, pretended I was there, just like looked at everything, read all the blog posts. Like every single day I went to my computer and went to tigermuaythai.com. There was not a day in those 6 months that I did not go to that site. It was kind of like the reminder of, this is where I'm going to be, and kept me focused. And as soon as I got enough money to buy the flight, I bought the flight. As soon as I had enough money to pay for my accommodations, I paid for my accommodations. As soon as I had enough money to pay for my training, I paid for my training. Even before I got there, I had everything sorted out. And I'm telling you this right now, because if you ever have had any sort of inclination, or any sort of goal to go abroad to train, that's how you do it. You just decide, and then you're laser focused. Like, I didn't go out during all this 6 months. I didn't barely talk to my friends. All I did was train Muay Thai. Like, I was laser focused. So when I got there, I went there for like 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. The first 2 weeks I trained like crazy. 2 a day, sometimes 3 a days, like, 5-6 hours total. Probably more than that, because the 2 days were 3 hours each. So those were 6 hours. Those were like, you go for a 5K run, come back, you stretch, and then you train, hit pads. It's crazy. You spar, you clinch, you hit the bag. Like, you do some technique. It was nuts, man. And so, but the one thing that I realized while I was there and training was that Tiger Muay Thai at that time was the mecca for people around the world, fighters around the world, to go to get their training. So they would come from all over the world. MMA fighters from all different type of organizations would come to Tiger Muay Thai to train their stand-up, to get so that their stand-up was better. They would train a Tiger. So at that time, I was already, working on my certification, my MMA Conditioning Coach certification through Nesta. So, shout out to John Spencer Else. We'll have him on the show as well, because I think the certification that he's created is incredible for not only trainers and coaches, but fighters as well. Should go through the cert. You're going to learn so much. Anyway, so I was already, and I was training myself. So I was doing strength and conditioning for myself. I had strength day. I had an explosive day. I had body weight training. I had sprint training. I had all this stuff on the lead up, because remember, I got rid of all that traditional bodybuilding style training, and I just focused on what's going to make me a better athlete, what's going to help me with my cardio conditioning, what's going to make me more explosive, because I wasn't a pretty fighter. I wasn't pretty, but I wanted to at least be able to be conditioned enough so that when I got to Thailand, I wouldn't gas out during training, because how brutal would it be if you pay all this money to go to Thailand, which I've seen a million times, and you can't even hit pads for the first week. You're wasting time. You have access to incredible trainers, and you can't even hit pads for 2 rounds because you're tired and you didn't train. You didn't kind of prepare, and the heat as well, and the trip there alone. So you really have to prepare before you go so that you can get everything out of training. So I had already been training this way. So the one thing that caught my eye was all these guys would go to the gym, because they also had a gym, and they would still be doing bicep curls and freaking tricep kickbacks and all these bodybuilding style workouts, because that's all they knew. And at that point, and we're going to talk about this in another podcast, but at that point, that's when I decided, you know what? And I started talking to these guys, and we would do some training together, and they loved it. And then we talked nutrition. I helped out with nutrition a bit. And that's when I decided that I'm going to start when I get home from Thailand, I'm going to start a website called FunkMMA.com, and it's going to be a strength and conditioning website for fighters that they can go and get workouts, not just exercises, but actual workouts that they can do at their gym, at their home, in their garage gym, or wherever they want to do it. They know that, okay, here's a workout from Funk. This is an explosive workout. This is a metabolic workout. This is a strength workout, power workout, whatever it is. Anything to do with strength and conditioning, stretches, flexibility, whatever it is, they know that they can come to FunkMMA.com, and that's what they're going to get. And that's what I did. I started the site. I have 600-700 posts. We're just redoing the site right now. But if you go to FunkMMA.com, you can download my 6 free programs and get a start on your strength and conditioning, FunkMMA.com. Anyways, so that's what I did. That was my goal. It's okay. And even when I got home, I'm I want to be able to be that person, that trainer for the person who's in Russia in their basement, who trains at a small gym, but has aspirations to fight or just wants to get better. They still understand they need strength and conditioning, but it's because the sport of MMA is new. Because mixing all of these martial arts is new, you have to train differently. And again, we're going to talk about that. I'm not going to get into all of this, because now I'll save that for another podcast. But that's my goal. And so that's what I did over these last 6-7 years. I've built FunkMMA.com into what it is today, 500,000 strong. I also have a fitness side, Funk Roberts Fitness, which is more geared to the over 40. I mean, there's a lot of people who are part of that, but it's geared to more the over 40 guy who, wants to get back into shape, or used to go to the gym and now wants to, come back in the gym. It's kind of lost, or someone who's just over 40 and understands that you want to get into shape, or you're over 40 and you want to still stay in shape. But this is my strength and conditioning for fighter side, which is I'm very, very passionate about. You can just tell, you can tell by all the content that I put out, all the free content that I put out. Every week we've got a new workout on YouTube. Every day I'm posting something on Instagram or my Facebook page. So, and the other thing is, we've got apps coming out. We've got DVDs going out. And just to let you know too, I work for the UFC as well. So that's also, something that's incredible. I work with the UFC. I only work Canadian, Australian, and New Zealand events. I'm going to New Zealand in about 5 days, I believe. It's June 2nd, so I'm leaving June 7th. So if any Kiwis are listening to this, because hopefully I'll have this posted by them, I'm coming to get you, baby. Anyways, yeah, so I would do fighter relations. I'll let you know what I do there. So I do fighter relations with the UFC. I'm jumping all over the place, but let me get this out quickly. I do fighter relations. So basically from the time the fighters get off the plane to us walking them out to the octagon and everything in between, that's what we do. Our team does that. We got a wicked team. Yeah, we do everything. We help them get to, pick them up from the airport, help them to get to their hotel, help them go through to their different media stuff that they may need to do. We make sure that the training rooms are on point. We do grocery runs for them. We do sauna runs for them. We do all the weigh-ins. So we're the guys who get them ready for the weigh-ins. We take them to the weigh-ins. We bring them back from the weigh-ins. And then fight night, we do everything behind the scenes. So all the lockers we set up, we monitor, and then we walk them out to the cage. So if you've seen any of the, Toronto, any Canadian, New Zealand, or Australian events, you've most likely seen me walk a fighter out to the cage. So I have access to all these fighters, all these trainers, all these coaches in my Rolodex. So that's why I think this is going to be awesome, because you're going to have access to all these people too. The other thing about Funk MMA, and the other thing that really, one of the goals that I had after I came back from Thailand the first time, because I was running FunkMMA.com, because that was what I decided that's what I was going to do. I needed to fight. I needed to experience what it was like for someone to go through the entire fight camp and to fight. So I booked a Muay Thai fight in Thailand. And my camp was probably about 8 months, because I had a lot of work to do, because I knew I was fighting a Thai in Thailand. So I went through everything that you would through a fight camp, and then some. I had an extended fight camp. I trained extremely hard. I did all my strength and conditioning, and my nutrition was on point. I did my weight cut. I actually was on weight before I stepped on that plane. Got off the plane, went to Thailand. 2 days later, we ended up fighting. My wife actually fought on the same card as I did. She fought the fight before. We were the main event. So now main eventing in Thailand at Taipei Stadium in Chiang Mai. And I won second round. It's an ugly fight. It was my very first fight, my only pro fight. But I won with a second round knockout. But that was something that I had to do, because, and I don't think everyone else has to do this. This is just for me. For me, I wanted to experience what it was like to go through an entire camp, and even extend that camp, and know everything that goes into training, so that when I'm training people, when I'm putting workouts out there, when I'm giving you nutrition advice, when I'm giving you advice, I'm not just giving it to you from the old Funk Roberts, who was a professional athlete at the highest level and, represented this country and played all over the world, who got a lot of knowledge on that, but also now as a fighter, someone who's like, I've done this, man. I've gone to Thailand and fought, I went there and fought a Thai, and, I won, and it doesn't matter if I won or lost, but I had to go through everything. I had to be uncomfortable many times. So that was really important for me to do that and go there. And, so know that I have that experience, and I only need to experience it once. I may do it again, but it's an experience that I needed to do. I was 41 when I fought, so I was a lot older than most people, but I also wanted to prove that at any age you can go in there and tussle if you want to. And you don't have to be doing this from a young age. If you put your mind to it and you're set, and like I said, just like that laser focusing, you have your blinders on, you focus on it, you can get it done. And so yeah, that's another thing that you'll learn, and another something that we'll talk about a lot is just getting it done, man. Like just grinding every day, getting it done, staying focused. That's what it's all about. Staying committed to what you said you were gonna do. And the ways that you can continue to stay focused and stay positive and help people and help yourself, help your family, be the best you can be, man. That's what it's all about. Yeah. I don't know why I just went into rap mode, but yeah. So, and the other thing is Thailand's my second home. So if you guys have been following me at all, I go to Thailand every year. And not only do I go to Thailand every year, but this year in October 29th and November 10th, I'll be hosting, this is 2017, I will be hosting my first retreat, fitness retreat. And already we have 9 people. I think we can only have 11. We already have 9 people, and it's only June. So this is training with me twice a day. And this is a fitness retreat. So it's more of a fitness vacation where you'll train with me twice a day. We'll do some serious workouts, some serious seminars, nutrition. And then I'm going to show you Thailand, baby. I'm going to show you Thailand. So if you are interested and you're listening to this, go to FunkMMAseminars.com. But like I said, there's already 9 people and we only have 11. So if you don't jump on it now, then you got to wait till the next one. Hopefully we'll do another one in April 2018. Anyway, so I come with the other thing that I want to bring to the table. And again, the reason why I'm telling you this is so you feel comfortable knowing that when I tell you things, I'm not just telling you for the sake of telling you. It's, I do a lot of research. I've actually created a certification course, a metabolic conditioning certification. That's how much I believe in metabolic conditioning, which is just high intensity training. But there's so many different styles of it. And I have my own style that I've kind of adapted, and I didn't create because I took it and I just, made some changes and kind of made it my own. But I created a certification course. So you can actually go through my online certification course at Nesta Online. So if you're a trainer or a coach or a gym owner that wants to get more knowledge in how to implement metabolic training in your fighters or your fitness classes. I love using metabolic training for fitness classes. So if you're a gym owner, you know that for most MMA gyms or martial arts gyms, it's your fitness side. It's the non like high level fighters that are gonna definitely generate revenue for you. So you gotta find ways to help people get results. You want people to get results. You want people to have fun, keep coming back. And metabolic training, body weight training, 10 exercise circuits, that kind of stuff. That's gold, man. That's gold. Everywhere I put that to play, it's gold. And I've trained, fighters at Tiger Muay Thai and some fighters at Phuket Top Team and fighters at different gyms. So, this stuff, it works. So I'm just, I just want you to know that you can be comfortable. No, I mean, you just go online, you can see my work. And, this is what this is all about, man. This is what this strength and conditioning podcast is going to be all about. It's going to be all about you guys learning, and we're going to educate you, entertain you. Wow. Entertain you, educate you, and we're going to have fun. That's what it's all about. We're going to have fun while we do it. I love podcasts. The one thing I love about podcasts is it allows you to listen to it anywhere. You can put on a podcast and listen to it while you're at the gym, while you're going for a walk, on your way to work, on your way to school, on your way home from work, on your way to the gym, on one of those long runs, anywhere you want, at night, in the morning, whatever. And I love doing that. I love listening to podcasts. I love it. I love having them on because you just learn about people. It's more personal, I feel more personal. I feel more on a personal basis with you. And you're going to learn a lot about me, but that's what I want this to be. I want this to be the podcast that you include into your playlist of podcasts, that you include into it, that you say, okay, yeah, let me listen to Funk. What the Funkster got to say today. Funkster, what knowledge is he going to spit? I'm going to spit some knowledge. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to get crazy sometimes. I'm going to share my stories with you. I'm going to share my UFC stories with you. I'm going to share my crazy ass stories with you from when I was younger. But I'm going to bring good guests. That's the bottom line. And we're going to break down fights too, but post fights. We're going to try that, see if it works. It may work, it may not work. You guys can tell me. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me. The first episode, it went a little longer than I hoped, but I hope you kind of get a feel for where I'm coming from. Go to FunkMMA.com right now. Open up your phone after you finish this and go to FunkMMA.com and download my 6 free programs. If you have not already done it, do it now, man. 6 free programs: sprint training, body weight training, abs and core. Yeah, man, come on. And then go to FunkMMA on Instagram because I'm posting things all the time. every day. Go to FunkMMA on Facebook, because if you want to be part of this tribe, this million martial arts march. Oh, the million martial arts march, baby. That's what we're going to have. The million martial arts march. That's what we're doing, baby. And we're going to be the million martial arts conditioning march. I don't know. It's okay. Anyways, so stupid. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. Million Martial Arts March. Go to Facebook. Go to YouTube. Funk Roberts. YouTube.com/Funk Roberts. Please go to YouTube.com/Funk Roberts. And every Monday I come up with a new workout. Hopefully you'll hear this before June 5th and know that I've got a killer workout coming out this Monday. And if there's any people that you want for me to interview, people you want on this show, people you think I should have on this show, please email me, funkroberts@gmail.com. That's the email right now. I'll probably have a different email for this podcast, but for now, email me there. It's my personal email. Please don't overwhelm me with crazy emails, because I will not answer them. Only serious emails will get answered. And finally, please like this and give this a 5 rating, because one of the things that gets good that brings good guests onto this show is ratings. So if this podcast has lots of 5-star ratings and great comments, then I can bring on other bigger acts. I can sign acts. I can bring on guests, like the big ass guests who know that there's people listening, watching, and loving this. You know what I mean? And I want to bring you the best guests that I can. So we've got some great guests lined up. So we've got amazing guests lined up, actually. The first few are awesome. So you're going to learn a lot from these guys and gals. And once again, I want to thank you so much for joining, for tuning in. This is your host, Funk Roberts. Guys, stay positive, stay focused, grind every day, and get it done. I'm out. Peace.
You've been listening to the Funk MMA Strength and Conditioning Podcast, hosted by Funk Roberts, Certified MMA Conditioning Coach, Master of Metabolic Training, and Fitness Expert, bringing you insights on conditioning for all levels of fighters worldwide. Be sure to join us for another podcast.